I got it. 3 hours, 15 minutes. I probably shouldn't have been as afraid of that as I was. It wasn't actually that bad. It wasn't as much of a stretch as I thought. I'm tired. I've had enough and my butt hurts. But other than that, felt great. Um, so 3 hours, 15 minutes, done.
Hey everyone, and thank you for following along on my journey to Ironman Lake Placid in July. Today is day 21 of my juice fast. I started the new year off with a 30-day juice fast to celebrate my 10-year anniversary of going whole food plant-based. My journey to health began with a 30-day juice fast. So to kind of honor that, I decided to do a 30-day juice fast. Only problem was I started training for Ironman Lake Placid. So I'm trying to do both together. So far, so good. If at any time it becomes unsafe, unhealthy, or dangerous, I will either stop the juice fast or stop the training or both, depending on what's happening. But so far, things are going great. If you didn't know, I've lost 200 pounds on a plant-based diet. I also was diagnosed with this disease called Ehlers-Danlos Syndrome. I've had a very challenging couple of years with a multitude of surgeries and recoveries. Not to mention a couple of pretty serious back surgery. I had my left ankle fused last year. And most recently, I had to get a muscle reattached to my elbow and a nerve relocated. On the heels, 13 months after I had my ankle fused, I took a shot at Ironman Lake Placid. I DNF'd on the bike portion, missing the cutoff by about 15 minutes. Last year, my goal was to get to the starting line. This year, my goal is to finish. I want to talk today about a very important topic that I need help with still after 10 years, and that topic is fear. So stick around. I really want to unpack fear, but I want to do it in a quick way. But before I do that, I would like to show you this workout that I did today. It was kind of a big workout. It's been looming over me for a couple weeks ever since I saw it on my calendar. The mileage, it says 77.8 miles. I don't put too much value in the mileage that I go, especially on a trainer, because it's typically much higher than I would on the road. I'm going to assume with a 3 hour and 15-minute bike ride, we're probably looking at about a 60 plus mile bike ride, depending on how many hills there were and whatnot. But I don't typically average over 20 miles an hour unless I'm really cranking on some flat land and I have no stops and no hills. So I don't really care about that. It was a low wattage ride, but that's not the point. It was still 3 hours and 15 minutes. I didn't bonk. I told you guys I was going to chop it up into 3 hours. As it turned out, I didn't have to do that. I rode about the first 2 hours, no problem at all. I did have to get off my bike to go pee and get some more water. And it was a great ride. It wasn't, I put a movie on, which I don't typically do. That kind of helped pass the time. But I felt great. I did it right away in the morning because I wanted to get it off my plate. That said, let's talk about fear. Fear has probably stifled more of my progress. It's destroyed more of my relationships. It's held me back from things that I shouldn't have held back from. Fear has played a major negative role in my life. And I don't think I'm alone at this. And here's the thing with fear, and I learned this lesson at least 100 times, and you think it would stick, and it never sticks. One of these times it's gonna. But when we are afraid of something, we're always afraid of what we conjure up these ideas that may happen. I was petrified of this bike ride because I just saw all these things. I saw that I'd be an hour and a half into the bike ride, I'd get super dizzy and I'd feel like I was going to pass out. And then I would have to come out of the juice fast or stop training. I had all these things that were going to happen to me. Nothing happened. And this is kind of typical for me. I conjure these things up in my head. And the main problem with fear is we're living in the future. And we, most of the time, the things that we fear never come true. I mean, if you think about that in your own life, what have you been like petrified of that actually came true? Most of the time, I would say over 95% of the time, everything that we fear doesn't even happen anyways. So I try so hard to live in the moment. I once heard someone say that if you're angry all the time, it's because you live in the past, and if you're fearful all the time, it's because you live in the future. And the way we need to live is in the present. It's much easier said than done, isn't it? But I really need to start focusing on today's workout, today's thing to get through, today's hurdle to jump over, because we can really freak ourselves out with the hurdles that we have to jump next month or tomorrow or next year. And a lot of times by the time the hurdles get here, they're not even hurdles anymore. So yeah, so that's where I'm at. I have to stop being fearful. And I have to do it soon, because it's going to kill me at Ironman Lake Placid. All the things, all the things that could happen. And last year I had a couple mechanical issues, and I'm going back there. Like, do I carry more spare tires? Is that like, and all this stuff is crazy. Like, why am I thinking about it? Just get through the workouts today. Get through what I'm supposed to do today. I hope that encourages you. I talked a little too long about fear. I was afraid I was going to do that. See what I did there? But really, we don't need to be afraid. Most of the time when we're afraid, it's about stupid stuff that's not going to happen anyways. And the best way to combat fear is live in the moment, be present where we are, and be mindful of where our thoughts go. Again, it's easier said than done, but I think it's something that's really worth practicing. Until tomorrow, we'll see you next time. Oh yeah, I forgot to show you. I got some lovely apple, kale, cucumber, celery with a little hint of ginger and some carrot juice. I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.